From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, rules out negotiations with Labour Minister as President Buhari directs Education Minister to end strike in 2 weeks. Flood submerges 100 houses in Bauchi as residents count loss. Central Bank of Nigeria raises interest rates to 14% for the second time in 2022. And UK reaches 40 degrees Celsius for the first time as heatwave batters Europe. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. President Muhammadu Buhari has issued a 2-week ultimatum to the Minister of Education, Adamu, to resolve the lingering strike by members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and other university-based unions. The ultimatum followed a brief from heads of relevant ministries and parastatals at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, on Tuesday. The president had summoned them to get more information on why the strike had persisted for too long. After Tuesday's briefing, the president ordered the education minister to ensure that the areas of disagreement were sorted out within 2 weeks and report back to him. In a swift reaction, the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, says the 2-week ultimatum given by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Minister of Education, Adamu, to end the ongoing strike will not work if the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, is included in any reconciliation committee. Recall that the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, had proceeded on a 1-month warning strike on February 14th, and other unions also withdrew their services after that as a result of the inability of the federal government to meet up with their demands. Now, more than 100 houses have been submerged by floods in Darazo community of Bauchi State. Victims of the ravaging floods are counting their losses while appealing for help from relevant stakeholders. Adamu Imam reports.
The victims who described the floods, the worst disaster ever witnessed in the area, said the downpour lasted hours on Saturday. Bilkisu Abdullahi and Musa Abdullah witnessed the ravaging rains.
The flood started in the evening. After some time, our house became submerged with water. The house turned like a river. Our rooms and fence all fell down. We're confused. Where should we start from? Our belongings are completely damaged because of the flood.
We need urgent assistance to rebuild our houses. Some of us already rendered homeless, looking for shelter elsewhere because of the flood devastation. Government should do something, but if there are none, then we thank God. Many are calling for help from well-meaning individuals and government for those rendered homeless by the flood.
No one can be able to tell you how much is lost, because this is the devastation that so many settlements have been affected. Not only this is just one of the settlements, and we have more than 20 settlements within the Darazo township. And actually, like this household, we have about 10 households within the whole house, and each of the households is affected. Like you can see here, this is one of them. And if I should tell you, to each and every section of this house, each household is affected.
The state governor, at a sympathy visit to the victims of disaster in Darazo communities on Monday, called for intervention from the relevant agencies of the federal government and pledged support for the victims.
I'm calling on the federal government not to politicize issues of humanitarian services. These are issues that they should give us assistance. I understand some people that have been trusted by the presidency are using this kind of thing for political reasons. They should fear God, because what is happening, they should come and inspect and see, not just to give money to people who will vote for them.
While the district head of Darazo thanked the governor for his visit to the communities, he urged him to respond quickly to caution the effect of the destruction in the area. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Meanwhile, Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari says government and security agencies have failed to secure Nigerians. Masari disclosed this in an interview with the BBC on the rising insecurity bedeviling the country. especially in the northwest. He says security officials and the government, who the people rely on to protect them, have failed to address insecurity, which has not just affected Katsina State, but almost every state in Nigeria and other neighboring countries like Niger and Mali. Masari, while noting that a lot of security operatives have been killed in their efforts to tackle insecurity, however, said Nigeria will overcome and tackle the issue of insecurity before handing over to the next administration. And still on security, a retired Brigadier General Sani Kukasheka says the absence of effective synergy among security agencies and absence of governance at local levels are some of the factors responsible for the current security situation in the country. The ex-army spokesperson, who featured in a Trust TV flagship program, Daily Politics, also underscored the need to explore non-kinetic measures in tackling the intractable security challenges facing the country.
As if it is not there, but it's the issue of coordination and synergy of effort. Because you have people that were saying, of course, information, they got information. But beyond that, had it been that there is synergy of effort and adequate security education among citizenry, because in most instances, even those people that passed information were just saying that something is happening in Kuje. Nobody, of course, you have to run for your safety, to be able to observe and say precisely. But those who have been paid for, have been trained for this, they ought to have passed the information. But even beyond that, they should have been able to have feelers that something is fundamentally wrong. But of course, it was there. We should not be, seems to be rewarding criminality with chieftaincy titles. But in their own case, they were coerced into it because over time, he has been proven to be exactly the kind of, dominant force with it.
And youth of Awomama in Oru East local government area of Imo State have protested the killing of 14 persons by suspected members of the Ebubiagu security outfit set up by the state government. The protesters who blocked the Ori-Onisha road in response to the killing of the 14 youth who were returning from a traditional wedding vowed that peace will not return in the state unless government disbands Ebubiagu. In his reaction, Governor Hope Uzodinma said his administration's quest to protect the lives and property of Imo citizens will not be deterred by propaganda and blackmail.
Please, we don't need our problem. Why we are expressing our anger is to Imo State government. There is a team who then brought out named Ebubagu, and that Ebubagu have been killing our youth. When they come where they are doing occasion, they will begin to shoot paradically, killing people. Like on Sunday in occasion, then kill less than 15 on gunshots. If they are looking for a particular people, let them go and hunt for them, not to be killing innocent citizens.
Just like my brother rightly said, we are the youth. We are the youth of not just our mama, not just Ameri. Oru East, Oru as large, both Oru East and Oru West. We are all here gathered. We are not happy with what is actually happening in our land. We have been trying to deal with it, but at this juncture, we can't enjoy it anymore. The day before yesterday, a lot of youth were killed. About 14 of them that went for a traditional marriage. Our brother here is part of them. Some of them were hidden by stray bullets.
For this our mama, we don't need Ebubagu again. They have killed our youth. Many youths, since Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they have finished our youth. What did they want us to do? We don't want Ebubagu again. If Ebubagu finish our youth, we will be women. What do we go do for this town? Only us can live for this our mama. Make Ebubagu governor. We beg our governor, Hope, make him remove Ebubagu for our mama. We are begging. We don't need them again. We cannot take it light with them. I don't think that we will take it light with them. They are killing our husbands, making us widows. We don't need them again. We don't need them again. So should send them away.
Well, we just came out from a Security Council meeting where the DSS confirmed that they did the operation, and the operation has nothing to do with any wedding place. They went to a camp, and they went to the camp with a pointer who is a member of the gang, and they caught some people. And the people are currently with the Department of DSS. Yes, they killed some people. But those were also bandits, but we are waiting for detailed report. But this is the interim report given to us in the Security Council. So I don't want you to be carried away by propaganda of those who are behind the banditry in the states. You should also investigate to find out for yourself what is happening.
Vice President Yemi Osibanjo is making good and steady progress after the successful surgery on his thigh bone on the 16th of July at the Duchess International Hospital. The Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Adetokunbo Shitabe, who gave an update on Tuesday in Lagos, revealed that Professor Osibanjo was undergoing physiotherapy as part of his rehabilitation process. The multidisciplinary team that has been involved with his care say the Vice President is very compliant and listens to advice, which is why he is making the sort of progress that was expected. Meanwhile, there was mild drama in the House of Representatives on Tuesday between the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the Majority Leader, Alhassan Ado Doguwa, over the People's Democratic Party's victory in the just concluded Osun governorship election. The argument occurred when the Speaker was congratulating the Minority Leader, Ndudi Elumelu, over the victory of the PDP in Osun, but was immediately shunned by the Majority Leader, who disagreed with the Speaker for congratulating the Minority Party. The report.
The Speaker maintained his congratulatory comment to the PDP and reminded the Majority Leader to imbibe the spirit of sportsmanship.
He won the elections, but I also added that it's going to be very short-lived.
Mr. Speaker, with due respect,
that is how you play politics.
I beg to tell you that you are on your own.
That is how you play politics. You are out of leader of the House.
Are you saying that Mr. President is on his own for congratulating us?
Yes, he's on his own.
Okay. Camera, you are
yes. There. Whoever congratulates you is on his own. I, as a party
leader of the House,
cannot congratulate you.
Don't take.
Mr. Speaker,
you win some, you lose some. Don't take defeat so personal. Okay.
Yourself and whoever congratulates.
Congratulations, Minority
Thank you, Mr.
Speaker. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives on Tuesday adjourned plenary over the death of a 7-member from Edo State, Jude Ise Idehan. Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, after welcoming members from their short break, said the House will adjourn in honor of the late lawmaker. Ise Idehan, who represented Igor Igboba-Oka Federal Constituency, died while the House was in recess.
Question, the motion has already been moved and seconded. I'll put the question for adjournment till 10 a.m. tomorrow. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. House adjourned to 11 a.m.
Meanwhile, the Senate on Tuesday suspended plenary over the recent death of lawmaker representing Ego Ikpobaoka local federal constituency in Edo State, Jude Idehan. Idehan, until his death, was a member of the House of Representatives under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The motion for the upper chamber to adjourn plenary in accordance with its tradition was moved by the Deputy Leader of the Senate, Senator Ajayi Borofise, and seconded by the Minority Leader, Senator Philip Aduda. Tuesday's session, which also saw the observance of a minute's silence to mourn the deceased before suspension of plenary, was presided over by the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omo Agege.
As is customary, when we lose a colleague either here or in the other chambers, we will suspend proceedings after a minute of silence. As a consequence of that and improvement of that tradition, those in favor of the motion say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it.
And ahead of the unveiling of the running mate to the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, The youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria has condemned the same religion ticket for the position of President and Vice President of Nigeria. The group, during a media briefing in Abuja, stressed the need to balance the candidacy of party flag bearers and their running mates for the sake of inclusiveness, equity, justice, and fairness.
To joint Muslim, joint Christian ticket. We are for equity and fairness. It is our belief that there should be no party with Christian presidential ticket, and there should be no party with Muslim presidential ticket. This insults the national interest and our inclusiveness as a nation.
We are not in the know of any organization of a Christian body that is supporting Muslim tickets. We are all under CAN, national, and we are waiting for the directive of our parents. And when they give directive for the purpose of inclusiveness, not a selfish interest, that is why we are against same religious ticket. Be it Muslim, be it Christian, but we are after equity, justice, and fairness for all Nigerians.
You're watching Trust TV News Hour. Still to come on the news, how schoolgirls recovered lost monies. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
The rains are here again. Floods are ravaging. Why? As residents of FCT, we have made some wrong choices. Dumping refuse in water channels, building on waterways, damaging water lines. The consequences of flooding can be devastating. Lives are lost, properties are damaged, people are displaced, farmlands are destroyed. Don't make the wrong choices. Don't build on floodplains. Don't dump refuse in waterways. Don't damage water lines. Clear all refuse in waterways around your premises. Together, we can safeguard lives and property. Do the right thing now. For emergencies, please call 112 or 122. This message is from the FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. Now a recap of our top stories. Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU rules out negotiations with Labour Minister as President Buhari directs Education Minister to end strike in 2 weeks. And flood submerges 100 houses in Bauchi as residents count loss. And moving on to other news now, the Media Trust Group, the publishers of Daily Trust, Armenia, and owners of Trust Television have appointed new executives. The group is rebranding and restructuring in order to implement new strategies to provide up-to-date, factual and accurate information to its growing audience on different levels and walks of life. Nana Mohammed tells us more.
The personal access to media and growing control over media communicative content. Media in the 21st century is on a path of breaking journey. All mediums, be it print, television, radio or digital, are running a marathon against the tides of time and technology. Hence, the new structure of the Media Trust Group is to consolidate on the achievements of the organization over the years, while positioning the group for the future. The announcement of these new executives was made available by the Chairman, Board of Directors, the Media Trust Group, Malam Kabiru Yusuf. He said, the new structure, Media Trust Group, has become a holding company with Trust Television and Trust Radio as subsidiaries, while the third subsidiary, Digital Trust, is expected to commence operations next year.
The advancements in technology are changing the global economy, entirely. And so founders of Media Trust deemed it necessary to also adjust to the realities, in the media industry today, so that we will move forward. And we are looking at deepen our presence in the digital space, because that is where the audience is transiting to.
Other positions created are Finance and Corporate Services, headed by Malam Nura Daura, Digital and Editorial, to be headed by Malam Nasiru Minkailu. The two subsidiaries, Trust Television and Radio, will be managed by Malam Ibrahim Shehu and Malam Muhammad Kabiru Muhammad as Chief Operating Officers, respectively. Malam Kabiru, the Chief Operating Officer for Radio, shared some of the important contents audience should expect.
Every serious media organization has plans to make use of this user-generated content, because you cannot be everywhere at the same time, and since we want to be reporting news firsthand from people who have witnessed it, we are going to be there when things are happening. Even if we are not there ourselves, we are going to talk to people who have seen it firsthand.
With the new brand and structure, staff of Media Trust Group are optimistic.
Well, I hope it will give the media outfit an avenue to compete with our peers globally. And with the new executives, I hope they will come up with improved welfare for the staff. And I hope they will give the staff a free hand so that the staff will be innovative to come up with new things.
The personal access to media and growing control over communicative content has become a reality that media owners must contend with. With this new repositioning, the Trust Media Group has positioned for the present and indeed for the future. Nana Muhammad, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now to health matters, where Kano State has recorded no fewer than 189 cases of cholera across 20 local government areas of the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Aminu Ibrahim Anyawa, made this known while briefing journalists in Kano on Tuesday. He said of the number, 5 died, while the other 184 have fully recovered. He said presently the state is on a zero-case status, courtesy of its multi-sectoral collaborative response. The Commissioner therefore assured of government's continued commitment towards providing adequate and qualitative healthcare services to the people of the state in order to eliminate cholera and other diseases in the state. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has received a new batch of 143 stranded Nigerians returning from Libya. The Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, represented by the Coordinator, Lagos Territorial Office of the agency, received the returnees on arrival in Nigeria. The returnees were brought back to Nigeria through the cargo wing of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja. The returnees include 96 adult males, 8 boys and 1 male toddler, while females included 36 adults, 1 girl and a toddler. 2 secondary school students, Naima Hussaini and her classmate Raja Samuel of Government Secondary School Bukuru in Angwendoki of Jos South Local Government Area of Plateau State, are warming the hearts of many across the nation after they returned the sum of 250,000 naira they found in the school premises. The students found the money during break time and decided to take it to their school teacher, saying it was morally wrong for anyone to hide money or anything that was not theirs. Ado Musa completes the story.
This is Government Secondary School Bukuru, located in Angwan Rohal Kanan of Jos South Local Government Area of the state, where the students found the money. One of the students, Naima Hussaini, who reside around First Bank Bukuru, said when they found the money, it didn't come to her mind to spend it, since it wasn't theirs.
I saw our friends standing. I decided to go and talk to them. As we were gisting, they now left. We now started, right? My friend was looking at herself in the mirror, and we now saw something with leather. And she now asked me that what's inside. And I said, I don't know. That I should check. And I say, you check. We were even saying that. She said, I should check. I say, you check. And I checked. We now saw his money. Then we now decided to return it to one of our.
On her part, Righteous Samuel attributed the ease of arriving at the decision to return the money to parental upbringing, adding that her parents have always questioned her against such acts.
We saw our friends and we decided to go and meet them. We went out of the class. When we went out of the class, we were now gisting with our friends. After we finished gisting, we were standing beside the red car. So I saw something in a leather. I decided to tell my friend, let's check what is inside the leather. So when we checked inside, we saw money inside.
Ezekiel Yarima, the teacher whom the student returned the money to, expresses happiness over the development, saying he was surprised to see the student returning such a huge amount of money and asked him to look for the owner.
Two of my students, Naima and Righteous, found some money and brought it to me. And the amount is 250,000. I was very much surprised at the kind of heart those children have, that they found huge amount of money and brought it to me. And so what I did was to look for the owner of the money. I first of all asked them where they found the money, and they told me that it was beside the red car. So I quickly went to look for the man with the red car, and he happens to be a supervisor of NAPTEP examination.
The teacher, who said he is proud of the students who have shown that they are God-fearing, also appreciated their strength and character and urged others to emulate. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The federal government has been called upon to give the right orientation to officials of the various agencies involved in traffic management to enable them do their job without any hindrance. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal spoke to road users on the ordeals they encounter while dealing with enforcement officers in the Federal Capital Territory. The report.
Road users in the Federal Capital Territory are displaced following the continuous threat they faced from law enforcement officers. A cross-section of people that spoke to Trust Television News further added that most drivers ensure they have all necessary documents to avoid harassment of some law enforcement officers.
No, what is bothering me mostly concerning this BIO 15, BIO task force. Sometimes when they arrest a driver for wrong parking, then if you don't have money to settle your fine, they will ask you to use your motor for like 2 to 3 hours in order to compensate them. So this thing I don't think is lawful. The federal government should do something about that. At least when you are arrested for an offense, if you don't have money to settle them for your own fine, let your vehicle be impounded.
Motorcycle delivery agents are also not left behind in this drama, as most of them complain that despite having all relevant documents, they most times end up in chaotic exchanges caused by the law enforcement officers.
It's unprofessional where you see someone giving you all the license and all the particulars which you demanded, and you still go ahead and looking for fault. For me, I'll call that a fault finder. It's not a professional job, if I must say, because I've seen a case where someone is driving on the way and got some kind of loads where the spare tire is. They even have to go to the extent of saying, okay, bring down all the loads you have on you and let's inspect your spare tire if that's okay. I think that's the last drop I've seen where they have to inspect someone and to tell them to bring down the whole things in the boot to show them the spare tire.
Passengers also want the law enforcement officers to carry out their activities with decorum to reduce some of the ugly incidents that occur between road users and the agents.
As we are working, we are not working in the night, we work in the daytime. And our law is that we must be in a proper dress. Wear your shoe, dress well, reflecting jacket, fully kitted. You wear your helmet. But once you meet them in their checking point, even though you are complete with your dressing, they must find a solution. Okay, right now they say all the dispatch riders.
In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
You're still watching Trust TV News Hour. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Unsuka zone, there are all galas. Cultural-wise, their masquerades are gala masquerades.
Gala nation had embarked on expansionist war severally.
Nobody dig his grave. Now he dig a grave, now he bury himself.
If you are to be given a position as a traditional ruler, it must be the Ata who will give you the staff in those days.
We are from Igala.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back to Trust TV News Hour. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is up and running and is expected to support sustainable growth across other sectors of the economy as it delivers energy to the world. Speaking on Tuesday at the State House, President Muhammadu Buhari, while unveiling the NNPCL, said the new firm would ensure that Nigeria's national energy security was guaranteed. Kende Amodu has the report.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is one of the offshoots of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. On the 1st of July 2022, President Buhari authorized transfer of assets from the NNPC to its successor company, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, making it Africa's largest national oil company. It serves both as a regulator and a fully commercialized limited liability company, with a former group managing director transforming into a group chief executive officer. President Buhari is confident that the new company will be a commercially driven and independent national oil company that will operate without relying on government funding.
NNPC Limited will operate as a commercial, independent, and viable national oil company at par with its peers around the world. while adhering to its fundamental corporate values of integrity, excellence, and sustainability.
But how will that impact directly on the Nigerian economy?
We have taken a strategic initiative to achieve our mandate of ensuring energy security for our country by rolling out a comprehensive expansion plan to grow our fuel retail presence from 547 to over 1,500 outlets within the next 6 months. Our drive for organizational sustainability is hinged on our renewed commitment to partnerships that deliver sustainable value to all with integrity.
The NNPC Limited will operate as a profitable commercial entity and declare dividends to its shareholders. The company will demonstrate higher levels of performance and accountability to continue to win the hearts of its over 200 million shareholders. The unveiling of NNPC Limited today is a new dawn in the quest for the growth and development of the Nigerian oil and gas industry.
The NNPC Limited is expected to deliver value to Nigerians who make up its over 200 million shareholders, as well as the global energy community. It remains to be seen if it will live up to this onerous responsibility. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The federal government, in partnership with El Rey Technologies Company, has inaugurated the first ever national game to enhance revenue generation for a sustainable economy. The event, which attracted lottery stakeholders from the country as well as representatives from Mali, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire and Niger Republic, and launched by House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, is to add value to the lottery sector and national development. The Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, George Akume, and the Director General of the Nigeria Lottery Regulatory Commission, Mr. Larry Gbajabiamila, said although the operation of the national game had taken a long time to manifest, it will impact the national economy.
Translates into significant employment opportunities in line with Mr. President's directives to all NDAs to initiate programs that generate employment for our teeming youths. Most concerning was the proliferation of unregulated foreign games in Nigeria and export of revenues due to heavy patronage by Nigerians.
We have a population of about 200 million. Our operators, our agents, our players, they participate in foreign games, so why can't we have our own? It's a legacy project. It's something that we need, and it's going to enhance the revenue as well, because our present operators, yes, they have their own games. They have they all do the indoor games. They have the Ghana games, and we just feel that we need to have a national game and embrace that, and just for the prosperity, and also to help government, because government cannot do it alone.
For us at the NLA, and as pace setters of the lottery in the sub-region, again, we are ready to lend Nigeria with all the support you need. And now we know we can play our game without Nigeria at least looking through the pinhole camera to take the numbers and play.
The launch of the national game today is an iconic moment. It's a moment we all should be proud of. Our country is now poised to become part of the long global history of state-franchised and state-owned national lotteries, providing jobs and contributing significant sums to the public purse. It is to the credit of the National Lottery Regulatory Commission that through hard work and dogged determination, they have achieved this remarkable feat.
And still talking about the economy, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised the monetary policy rate to 14%. The chairman of the committee and governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, disclosed this during a post-MPC briefing in Lagos. According to Emefiele, the interest rate, which was pegged at 11.5% for over 2 years, was raised to 13% in May to tackle rising inflation. Meanwhile, the committee retained the asymmetric corridor at plus 100 to minus 700 basis points around the MPR, retained credit reserve ratio at 27.5%, as well as liquidity ratio at 30%. Now, earlier we spoke to Steve Machuco, an economist and financial analyst, on the implication of the new interest rate.
Okay, thanks for having me once again. And on the issue of the CBN raising the monetary policy rate by 100 basis points, yes, it's part of their decisions to actually moderate inflation. One of the reasons why they gave was the fact that most of the inflationary factors needs to be tightened so that you can be able to have the inflationary figure drop a bit. Though, like they also admitted, most of these very inflationary factors are much fundamental, more structural, and it has to do with from the point of the supply push than the demand push, because you understand that most of what drives most of these inflationary factors can come from either from the demand push or the supply push. At present, is actually from that side of the supply push, because we are having constantly issue of short supply, so it's driving the cost, it's driving the inflationary figures we are having. But will it deter or reduce or curtail the inflationary figures going up? No, until you treat the real thing, which is the fundamental or the structural aspect of it, which is to make available supply to the system, you'll find out that these figures will be curtailed. So the measures taken so far is just like dressing the wound. You are not actually doing things that will actually make sure that we run out of this very double-digit inflation figure. This is just window dressing. Like I said, the issue is from the point of supply push. The inflationary factors are from the supply push, not from the demand push. There is scarcity of wheat. There is scarcity of grains. There is scarcity of petroleum products. There is a lot that is pushing the inflation figures. It's from the supply aspect of it, not excess liquidity in the system, not excess cash at float or in circulation. It's from the point of supply. There is scarcity of these items that drive the inflationary figure. From the side of the food index, or from the commodity aspect, you find that these items are not anywhere to be found in the market, and also from the point of the supply of dollar to the system that continue to cause this very rise of prices. Because whatever exchange rate you use is, whether you use the CBN exchange rate window or use the parallel market, which is close to 620 as we speak, you continue to see that it's from the supply point that these inflationary factors continue to affect prices and also affect inflation figures in Nigeria. So it's not going to make any difference.
This is still Trans TV News Hour. The news continues after this break. Stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back to Trust TV News Hour. At this point, we'll join Chamun Dabeng for business news.
The Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor Godwin Emefiele disclosed on Tuesday that the benchmark interest rate has been increased by the Monetary Policy Committee of CBN from 13% to 14%. This is the second time within 2 months that the MPC has increased the benchmark interest rate in response to the inflationary trend. The committee made the decision to hike the interest rate from 11.5% to 13.5% in May 2022 during the most recent NPC meeting. In order to address the dilemma of the global food security, the World Bank Group, the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, International Monetary Fund IMF, and World Food Program WFP, and World Trade Organization WTO have all urged for immediate action. According to Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General of the WTO, the interconnected markets for food, fuel, and fertilizer have been significantly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic's disruption of global supply chains and the Ukraine war. She continued by saying that approximately 8% of the world's food commerce has been impacted by export limits implemented by over 25 countries in response to rising food prices. The head of the WTO argued that releasing stocks as appropriate and in accordance with WTO regulations and coming up with a diplomatic way to get rid of the grains and fertilizer that are currently being blocked in Ukraine would help to address the availability and affordability of food supplies in the short term. According to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, 57.07% of the nation's electricity consumers were still paying with estimates as of September 2021. This was disclosed by NERC in its third quarter report 2021, which was released on Tuesday. Only Ikeja, Benin, Enugu, and Port Harcourt electricity distribution companies had measured more than 50% of their customers at the time. The report also stated that a total of 8.693 million megawatts per hour MWH of electricity was generated in the third quarter of 2021. When compared to the total generation of 8.905 MWH in 2021 quarter 2, this is a 2.38% decrease. It attributed the decline in operational performance in 2021 quarter 3 to several generating units unavailability as a result of faults including oil leakage, high thrust bearing temperature, and a high rotor vibration, among others. That's all for business news. I am Chamun Dabeng.
And this just in, a Dana Air Boeing 737 aircraft with registration number 5NDNA on Tuesday made an emergency landing on approach at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The decision followed an indication in one of its engines it was learnt. The airline confirmed the incident in a statement, saying all 100 passengers on board were disembarked safely. The airline apologized to all passengers on board the flight and reassured them that Dana Air will continue to maintain its high safety standards. Meanwhile, Italian prosecutors on Tuesday dropped a legal challenge over the acquittal of ENI and Shell, as well as managers, including ENI CAO Claudio Descalzi, in a corruption case linked to a deal in Nigeria. Attorney General Celestina Gravina signaled the prosecution did not plan to pursue the case at the start of the appeal trial into the oil industry's biggest corruption case, involving the $1.3 billion acquisition of a Nigerian oil field a decade ago. The appeal court formally took note of the decision, meaning the criminal case will be closed and the acquittal of all defendants will become final. The appeal will now only concern civil proceedings, as Nigeria has sued for compensation. The next hearings for the civil case are scheduled for September. The UK on Tuesday posted its highest temperature on record, breaking 40 degrees Celsius for the first time, after government officials declared a national emergency and issued unprecedented health warnings. The Met Office earlier on Tuesday had provisionally recorded a record-breaking temperature of 39.1 degrees Celsius in the village of Charlwood, England. For the first time, the Met Office has issued a red warning in response to the extraordinary heat. The heat wave in Britain, which has been linked to climate change, follows a weekend of wildfires and soaring deadly temperatures in France, Portugal, and Spain. And at least 22 people have been killed and 33 others injured in southern Egypt on Tuesday when the bus they were traveling in smashed into a parked truck. The bus carrying around 45 passengers crashed into the stationary truck near the village of Al-Barsha, 300 kilometers south of the capital, Cairo. Crashes are relatively common in Egypt, where many roads are in disrepair and traffic regulations frequently ignored. Some 7,000 people died in road accidents in the country in 2020. And in sports news, Nigeria ended their 2022 Africa Men's Senior Handball Championship campaign in Egypt with a defeat against Gabon on Sunday. The Golden Arrows started the game on the momentum of their two previous wins, but met a determined Gabonese that emerged victorious. The Golden Arrows finished 10th after losing their group matches to record title winners Tunisia and Cape Verde. They then won their classification matches against Zambia and Senegal before losing their last match against Gabon. Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe for more sports news.
Snail is a delicate.
The need to use the unifying power of sport as a tool for conflict resolution with communities in Nigeria and beyond was the focus of a 3-day workshop on community engagement towards achieving peace building and conflict management for the Kano chapter of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN. Coordinator, Civil Society Organizations for Conflict Resolution in Nigeria, Adeni Aremu, took the sport writer of identifying problems and how to solve them.
We felt it wise to create visibility for the project through this means of coming together with sports and sport personalities in Kano State, which we believe by working with them, it will create more visibility for us as an organization. It will also create visibility for the sporting activities in Kano State. Today, somebody said this is the first time that they are uniting sport and sporting personalities in Kano State.
Speaking at the event, Northwest Vice President of Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Luwan Malikawa, says such workshop will boost development efforts as sports writers become more equipped with adequate knowledge of using sport to unite and resolve conflicts.
The capacity building workshop will assist us and guide us and intimate us to work more so that we will enlighten, educate and inform and mobilize the public on the significant roles of sport, particularly in promoting unity, in promoting peace, in promoting socio-economic development of our people, because now sports is not only for leisure, sports is a business institution whereby our youth should be educated and guided to be on the way forward on how to develop their skills, particularly those that have talent in sporting activities. And organizing such kind of workshop, we believe the government should come in to assist Sport Writers Association of Nigeria, collaborate with the European Union and this Saboda organization so that Kano State will continue to be one of the leading states in promoting and developing sport.
That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And on a lighter note, let's take a look at how a small town in East China's Zhejiang has acquired wealth from snails via a 35-year snail farming industry, which has become more prosperous in China thanks to the increasing popularity among Chinese diners.
Snail is a delicacy in French cuisine. Statistics show that 300 million snails are consumed in France every year. Snails have played an integrated part in French cuisine for hundreds of years. The French delicacy is now often served at Chinese dining tables, which has driven the growth of the snail industry.
In a small township in Jiaxing, the local people started breeding snails 35 years ago, in 1987. Today we are visiting a leading company in producing and processing snails in Yuxin Township, Jiaxing City, East China's Zhejiang Province. And this company has taken up 70% of the market share in Chinese market.
目前我们公司的产品面向全国消费市场。近几年，我们公司蜗牛产品的销售以每年10%的速度在增长。去年产值达到了7100多万元。我们相信，随着中国消费者对蜗牛产品的接受程度不断提高，未来的市场前景将无比广阔。目前，我们带动了全国7省1市的500多户农户进行家庭式养殖。我们会进行技术指导，帮助农户做到标准化、订单式养殖，符合要求的蜗牛我们都统一收购，保障农民的收益。我们公司高度重视食品安全、标准化生产和品控。与许多中餐厅和西餐厅连锁企业都保持着长期而又稳定的合作。从农田到餐桌，我们实现了品质和价值的跨越，也希望。
And on that note, we wrap up Trust TV News Hour for tonight. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and, of course, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Enjoy the rest of your evening.